Greetings, Gemini. Welcome, my dear friend, to Eureka Elementals. I do hope wherever this finds you, you're doing exceptionally well. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that whatever you're doing towards this end of 2023, you have taken the time to recalibrate, to rest, to spend time with those that you hold dear, and to use this as a time to have an accounting for 2023. The lessons learned from 2023 that are helping you to move forward into 2024. With that being in mind, I was instructed by Spirit and my guides to do a rune reading for January for all of the signs. So I'm doing that. I have runes as well that I normally would cast. I've used them before in the past, but I was told to write them down along with some other sigils here. So I created a deck for that. And the instruction I was told is also to utilize the Celtic oracles. So that's a lot of the cards that I'm utilizing right now. So I'm going to clarify the runes with the Celtic oracle. Get new tarot deck I'm using as well. Utilize that, and three other cards at the end. Bam, bam, bam. 1, 2, 3. So meant for modalities or other recommendations that you can utilize to assist you based on whatever is seen here. With that, Gemini, let's jump right on in. The cards have already been shuffled. The energies have already been cleared. It's all up to you. So let's do this. Okay. So the first thing that I pulled was for the hazel tree. So it's the poet's tree. You're going into 2024 with an energy of the poet's tree, with full of wisdom, knowledge, inspiration. And it is said that the hazel tree signifies both the pursuit and purpose of wisdom. Your evolution is at hand. So you're going through a metamorphosis. You're evolving based on wisdom. And wisdom usually comes through hard knocks. Usually we all become wise because we've made mistakes and you've learned from them. And that knowledge and inspiration also comes from the ability to have that introspection. So that's the energy that you're the leading energy that you're going in with. Now let's get to others. You have Isa. So Isa is like the ice queen energy. Associated with the bat, it is a warning of danger. And it is also associated with the moon and also the hermit energy. So you may be dealing with a Virgo, or you may have a Virgo in your chart, Gemini, but it's about, again, it's a self-reflection. So I said, you're doing some self-reflection, right? Cold, stillness, focus, meditation, stasis, stability, but you're also tapping into your inner strength, your self-reliance, self-acceptance, and self-awareness. Those are good traits. For some people, isolation may be danger, but sometimes you need to be still. What is coming to me is that scene. Oh my goodness, I'm so going to age myself. But it's a scene. It's a scene from the movie The Bodyguard, where Kevin Costner is in the woods. That scene where the scene towards the end where he's fighting and he cannot see. He has to rely on his senses to hear. And so it's almost like you have to really have that absolute stillness so you can hear even the movement of a branch, right? So that you can sense if you are in danger. So it is that deep going within, so much so that the stillness allows you to sharpen your other senses. You also have Ihwaz, which represents the mysteries of life. The cat is also associated with that, as far as the animal, and the yew tree. And it's also associated with Scorpio and also the hanged man. Ihwaz is all about magic, your liberation, your rebirth, your spiritual awakening, your protection, your bro and arrow and your stamina. So it looks as though that you are going into 2024, Gemini, whew, inspired with knowledge, pursuit of wisdom, your evolution. Your evolution is coming from your reflection, and it's also happening because you have had the ability to be like the hanged man and see things from a whole new perspective as well. The Ihwa's energy that now allows you to have that rebirth in your energy, a rebirth of self. You've perhaps gone through a dark night of the soul, or many dark nights of the soul. Everybody goes through them at different levels of your evolution. And you are then seeing things, knowing that your evolution is at hand. You are being able to ascend based and on that and because of that. So you're going through a lot at this point. What others may see as perilous is perhaps necessary for you, because self-reflection isn't easy, okay? Seeing yourself as you truly are requires you to pull off the mask that sometimes we become so comfortable with the mask, and you could I've been reading now for a few hours, so my voice is paying the price. Anyways, everything means something. So if I coughed at that, it may mean something, right? But you might be so comfortable wearing a mask that it's become, you may have forgotten who you really are. Hence the reason why you have to really tap into your inner strength and have that reflection. And this is the perfect time of the year to do so. You're wrapping up a year, you're going into another. It's the perfect time. The weather, especially out here in the United States at this point, depending on where you live, it's cold, it's miserable outside. You really do want to stay. And you're nearing the year's end when most people have time really to be at home and hearth and really take that reflection and that time to recalibrate, which is what I recommend that you do. All right. Now, clarifying Hazel, the poet's tree, with your wisdom, knowledge, inspiration is Ceriden. I love this. So, again, about your transformation. You have a lot of information here related to your transformation, your evolution, transformation, knowledge, and magic. So this taps into also the Ihwas as well, right? And so this is your overriding energy. I will read up on Ceriden, number 16. For those of you who are numerologists, which reduces to a 7, which is about your spirituality, standing in your power, your transformation, and some would say even your ability to defy the odds. So let's read up on Ceriden. She is known as a shape-shifting underworld goddess, okay? And she said to stir her cauldron against that magic energy here for you, Gemini, and right up your alley because, of course, you're the magician. She said to stir her cauldron, making her herbal magical brews. Legend tells of Guan, a boy left in charge to stir the cauldron's potion, who accidentally splashed it. He sucked the 3 drops off his thumb, and from this potion, he was bestowed knowledge, magic, and the goddess's shape-shifting skills. Ceriden was angry and chased Guan. They both shape-shifted into many a manner of animals to escape until eventually Guan was eaten by Ceriden, but his life force merged with hers, and she became pregnant with his essence. Ceriden could not bear to keep him, but he was a beautiful child, so she bundled him off and set him upon the water, where he was later found and adopted. Sounds like the Moses story. It is said that he grew up to be the famous Taliesin. On drawing the Ciridwen card, a transformation is likely if you're not already beginning one. First, it is necessary to gather all the correct ingredients and place them in the mixing pot, being careful to ensure everything is placed in at the correct time, which may mean certain astrological points in time also. Transformation can be welcomed and sometimes not, but one thing remains certain: you will not be the same afterwards, and this is usually a good thing no matter how you might perceive it at the time. Just as the story on shapeshifting goes, so too is the important to shapeshift or to be adaptable to every different situation. You're being told here to look at each situation and decide what qualities you need most to navigate your way through. It's about thinking and doing differently in order to obtain a different outcome than normal. Ciridwen is known as the moon goddess, another significant sign of cycles and changes. Right? So you have the moon here as well, Isa, okay? All right? Everything is in a state of flux. The only constant in life is change. A time to roll with the flow, look at yourself and your life, and to see what needs to change, needs to move, needs to grow. Let it in. Do not resist. This is the gift of change. What? You're being asked now, Gemini, what are you ready to create? So it's about your transformation moving into January 2024. You've got to embrace this. Full on embrace it. Okay? Clarifying Isa, which is about self-reflection, self-reliance, awareness, and acceptance. Okay? And some say coldness, ice, danger. Okay? Is, Morrigan, man, this is not playing around. Power, courage, and strength. You're pulling, Gemini, you're pulling a lot of high vibrational, also very magical energies. The Morrigan, power, grace, the goddess of death. Wow. Okay? As frightening as this sounds, the Morrigan may be one of our oldest Celtic goddesses and should be readily seen as the keeper of death. She helps with the transformation. She is also seen as a healer and a triple goddess due to her many aspects of the maiden, mother, and the crone. Okay? So again, you're going through a transformation, right? Which is said by Ciridwen as well, right? The Morrigan comes into our lives when we really need some strength to make something happen. You know when enough is enough. The power you get from that kind of situation is exactly what you need to propel you forward in your power to get what you need. This is a time to stand your ground, dig in your heels, and be firm in what you desire. Go after what you want and don't let anything stand in your way. The Morrigan shows us how to look at our shadow self, the aspects that we keep in the dark or are afraid to look at. She shows us that in the shadows lie our strengths, not our weaknesses. The Morrigan also shows that what we perceive to be a negative situation may be exactly what is needed to create peace or a desired outcome. Just like some forests need fire to regenerate, so too is death and destruction needed in our lives in some shape or form. Like I said, you might be going through a dark night of the soul, Gem. Death doesn't need to be a physical death. It can be an ending of some sort, perhaps even an ego death. Sometimes that makes it final. If you face a situation you don't understand, say thank you for it. Why? Because it is in your life for a reason, a lesson, an ending. It is not until after the battle that we come to understand the gift it brings. Well said. Well said. And so the Morrigan is here to help you clarify and go through. It's seen as dangerous, but it's necessary for, I'm fighting with the scar to lift it up. It is necessary for your evolution, for your rebirth, right? For your self-reflection. You have to have power and courage and strength to really look at yourself for who you really are, to truly see your shadow side, okay? And take that deep introspection, right? And when that happens, there's magic in that, right? Because it leads to your spiritual awakening, okay? Your liberation, your rebirth, your ihwaz moment, right? So you're having perhaps even going through, like I said, a dark night of the soul, and perhaps even an ego death. But whatever it is, you're in an energy of transformation. Now, clarifying ihwaz is celestial, number 17. Okay, and let's see what celestial has to offer us. Okay, it says here, the spiral was an important symbol for the Celts. It symbolized many things, but mostly it represented movement and the constant spinning of cycles and of the stars in the night sky. The North Star was believed to be the location of what they termed or themed as heaven. The stars spiraled in the sky, which became the pathway and how souls ascended into heaven. Okay, in drawing this card, you may be asked to look at what drives your momentum. Is it sustainable? Will it be enough to keep everything moving, or are you driving too fast, which will end up in burnout? Just as we draw energy from the earth, so too we can draw upon the energies from above us. Other realms, the moon, the stars, the sun, all are energies that we can work with, keeping in mind that we are made from stardust. Meditating or journeying can help us connect with these energies, so it may be time to explore new options for keeping your cup full. Sustainability is the key here to help the spiral forever in motion. I like that. I like that, because you're really going through a spiritual awakening, which is helping you with that celestial awakening as well. You're seeing that you are part of the divine plan, Gemini. And that is a blessing in and of itself. Now we're going to get some tarot to clarify here. Clarifying Hazel, the poetry, wisdom, and knowledge, and Ceridan helping with your transformational magic is the shadow side of the 10 of Wands. So you are you're unwilling to delegate. See, in the front end here, you when you have the 10 of Wands normally, it is representing burnout, but reverse, the shadow side of it is that you're stressed and you're unwilling to delegate. Okay, so you're carrying too much on your back, right? And that is showing that you're going to be burnt out. Okay, so it is a sign that you are in danger. Okay, this is a sign of danger. But it's also, you can't get past 10 is where it ends, right? So it forces you, it doesn't get more than 10 on your back. After that, you're forced to restart, you know? And hence the reason why it's kind of interesting that your card that is clarifying Issa, danger, the Morrigan, who represents power, courage, and strength, and also the transformation energy of your shadow side, is clarified by temperance. Temperance, okay? And in this deck, now they do explain. I'm gonna have to make sure that I get this right, because I don't want to get this wrong. And this is the one thing they do explain well here. Temperance, comprehension of the hierarchy of vital forces, reestablishment of the psychic and physical health, search for the center that occurs by leaving behind excesses, inner trust in the forces of self-healing. So you are going to be essentially forced to heal, right? And you see the cup, she's pouring from one cup into another. It is forcing you to take accounting, a self-reflection that forces you to heal, right? To find that inner courage. So it really is a balancing, right, of these energies, the light and the dark, so that you can have your stability, as is promised by Isa, the rune, okay? And interesting, okay? And Ihwas, your magic liberation, rebirth, and celestial, is clarified by the Emperor. You are tapping in. Let's see what the Emperor represents in this deck, because I take nothing for granted with new decks. I'm not going to. It says here, dominating oneself through the control of logical thought, temporary sacrificing of a more expansive vision in favor of stability. So you are pushing through at all costs to ensure that you have your stamina about you, and that you are stable, and you're tapping into that energy after a season of burnout has forced you to have a self-reflection and to tap into that balance energy where Morrigan and also Temperance Angel is helping you to balance and reshift so that you can tap into this energy. It's an Aries energy, so you may have Aries, Gemini, in your chart. Okay? Gotta find your stamina. All right? Very interesting. So, essentially, so your pursuit of wisdom, both the pursuit and the purpose of wisdom, your evolution is at hand. So because you've been so burdened, you've been forced to stop, assess, reflect, redirect, tap into that temperance energy for your rebirth through Ihwas and your magic and your spiritual awakening to get yourself into this Emperor energy. Full cycle. I love it. I love it for you, Gemini. This is very, very, very good. Okay? Now, bear with me here. Okay? Now, if you see this feather, okay, symbols and sigils are important, and messages. It is from a white owl telling you the wisdom and messages of the divine are within you. So this taps in again. You have a lot of the hazel tree telling you about your wisdom. You're really about to have an evolution that clarifies that, right? And you are going through all of these things and will make you wiser for it, right? It's about your wisdom, okay? You're about your wisdom, and this will help you with your evolution. So the white owl is also a signal that you're on the right path, okay? Right now, let's see if there's anything that is recommended for you. Florida waters, the natural form, enchanted potion, red roses, and cleansing. You will need to utilize Florida waters, and they sell it all over the place, to help you at this particular stage. I'm going to put this 31, which reduces to a 4 for your foundation. So far, for those of you who are numerologists, I forgot to mention that, Saroin was 16, Celestial 17, and Morrigan is 24. Okay? Now, 31 is Florida waters, and let's see here. Most people are familiar with Florida water. If you're not, get you some. They usually sell them in the botanicas and other places like that, and even most supermarkets nowadays as well. Florida waters. The first act of cleansing in human beings was with the first bath after birth, and it is only fitting we continue to use water as the sacred essence of rejuvenation and renewal. And isn't it interesting, once you go through and have that rebirth energy, waters, the sacred waters, Florida water, you're being given a clue. You're being given a clue, right? And, oh my goodness, what is that song? It's come to me and it flew in just quickly. Oh, by Annie Lennox. It came to me and it left. Oh well. Interesting. Right. It says, when Florida water cause appears, it is time to take a step back and return to our natural form of spiritual purity and simplicity. You have been drawn far into the depths of troubles, stress, and anxiety. Look at the 10 ones. Following life in its dictated fashion, and nature is calling you back to remember how you first began. You choose to either continue the path of detaching from your divine nature or reclaim your sacred spiritual poetry once more. Hazel, poetry candle. Your hazel tree, your poet's tree. Remember, you have inner power and dive deep into the blood of the earth, the waters of divine life. When you magically infuse waters with herbs, crystals, and sacred symbols, you create a powerful enchanted potion to dispel heavy bonds and binds. You cleanse your aura and your surroundings, renewing the lease of vitality and reinvigorate your sacred space. White and red roses are nature's symbols of purity, truth, and courageous love. And they whisper that now is the time to return to the seat of your spiritual eye and to strip away the conditions that no longer serve your path. You are an agent of wise nature, and you should be claimed by the beauty of passion, dreams, and joy if only you would allow it. And this is why the temperance angel is here. You are to return to the seat of your spiritual eye. I love it. I may call this reading that. Because I do think you're going through an evolution. Okay? And you're returning to the seat of your spiritual eye. I love it. Everything here is letting me know you're going through a massive evolution, Gemini. Massive evolution. And kudos to you for doing so. Your recommendation, if any, we'll end it here. It says Ancient Sites Research, Temple of Amun at Karnak. What was the connection between the site and a sense of the sacred? What was the connection to the time and the calendar? How was the site originally used, and how has that evolved? So again, it's tapping into evolution, which is what's happening with you. There are no coincidences, and so you're perhaps given that little research project to see what happens. Perhaps it will lend you some inspiration in your own evolution at this point, which is this tells me of a journey that you're making going into January. This is the perfect time again at the end of the year to reassess, to reflect, and to really have that balancing of the light and the dark within you. And again, diving into the spiritual waters again, in the Florida waters, to come out with that rebirth where you can, with the help of the temperance angel, be transformed into your emperor status, reclaim your throne. And my dear, that Gemini is your message. I do wish you all the best. Take care.